Hello everyone. In the previous part, we have seen about the belief and practices up till the topic of Nathapanthis, Siddhas and Yogis. In this part, we'll be considering rest of the topic of devotional path to the divine. Islam and Sufism. Islam propagated monotheism or submission to one God. It also rejected ideal worship. Muslim scholars developed a holy law called Shariat. Sufis believed in one God and all men are his children. They thought that people should be kind towards fellow beings. They often rejected the elaborated rituals and codes of behavior demanded by Muslim religious scholars. They also believed that the heart can be trained to look at the world in a different way. So, they developed a number of methods of training, for example, zikr, contemplation, sama, rags, breath control, etc. These methods were performed under the guidance of Master of Bir. Sufi saints held their assemblies in the khanqahs or the hospices. The most influential teachers of the Sufi movement were Khwaja Moinuddin Chishti, Qutbuddin Bakhtiar, Baba Farid, Khwaja Nizamuddin Aulia, Banda Nawaz Gisudaraz. Now, new religious development in the North India. Tulsidas. Tulsidas conceived of God in the form of Rama. His composition, the Ramcharitmanas, was written in Awadhi. It is important both as an expression of his devotion as well as a literary work. Surdas, he was an ardent devotee of Lord Krishna and his exemplary work includes Sursagar, Suravali and Sahitya Lahari. While Ravidas, he was a great saint who belonged to a caste considered untouchable. He was an ardent devotee of Lord Krishna. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he was a great saint from Bengal and an ardent devotee of Lord Krishna Radha. He rejected the caste system and encouraged everyone to join the trend of bhakti through singing and dancing. Sankara Deva, he was an influential bhakti saint of Assam and an ardent devotee of Lord Vishnu. He established Nangas where people gathered for religious discussions, recitation, collective prayer, and social functions. This practice still continues. Mirabai, she was the wife of the crown prince of Mewar and a disciple of Ravidas. She became an ardent devotee of Lord Krishna. She composed many devotional songs called bhajans. She openly challenged the norms of the upper caste through her songs. That is why she was very popular with the masses. Now Kabir. He was one of the leading bhakti saints of the 15th century. He was a Muslim weaver by profession and he believed in a formal supreme God and preached that the only way of salvation was through bhakti or devotion. His ideas are contained in vast collection of verses called Sakhis or Pad and sung by wandering bhajan singers. Many of his verses have also been included in Guru Granth Sahib. Guru Nanak, he was a great bhakti saint born at Talwandi presently in Pakistan. He preached the message of oneness of God. He established a center at Kartarpur on the bank of river Ravi. Irrespective of their former creed, caste or gender, his followers ate together in a common kitchen known as langar. Before his death, he appointed Lahina as his successor, but he came to be known as Guru Angad. He compiled the composition of Guru Nanak, to which he added his own in Gurumukhi. Guru Arjan in 1604 Three successors of Guru Angad wrote under the name of Jinanak, and all of their compositions were compiled. Guru Gobind Singh added writing of Sheikh Farid, Sant Kabir, Bhakt Namdev, and Guru Tej Bahadur. In 1706 he compiled it as Guru Granth Sahib. He established Khalsa and initiated Amrit, that is, sprinkling of water on the devotees. Now, teaching of Guru Nanak. He believed in the worship of one God. All caste, creed, and gender was irrelevant for attaining liberation. To pursue active life with a strong sense of social commitment. To use Nam, Dan, and Isnan for the essence as right worship, welfare of others, and purity of conduct. To follow Nam Japna, Keert Karna, and Vand Chakna, which highlighted the importance of right belief and worship, honest living, and helping others. Thank you.